The federal government has not paid, will not pay, and does not encourage anybody to pay ransom. In terms of determining whether ransom was paid just because the operation that was carried out was smooth and clear, I mean, if you talk to people who are from the intelligence platform, they will tell you there are many considerations in determining how hostage taking and rescue are conducted. It's not in all cases that when people are rescued from hostage operation that they must have paid money. That's why there was no exchange of gun. No, there are many other areas. I will give you one or two in a hurry. One is that if these people who wreak havoc have certain individuals in the society that people believe they listen to, if you engage those individuals, you can have all of the people released without paying a dime. One. Two, if you have surrounded the hostage, even if you don't know the specific place where they are, but you know the scope, you have the scope of the circumference, and then they know that there is no exit for them unless they release this individual, they could release without paying money. The third consideration is what happened, I think, sometimes back during President Buhari's administration, where a governor in Nigeria paid ransom without the knowledge of the federal government, and the people were rescued. Federal government was not involved, never encouraged, but the people paid ransom.
The way politicians talk about terrorism in Nigeria, they are not talking about it with so much seriousness. They are taking it too lightly. They talk about terrorism as if terrorists are aggrieved government workers who decided to go on strike because the government has refused to increase their salaries. That is how they make it look. This is a very serious issue. How can you say that the government does not negotiate with terrorists all the time for victims to be released? That sometimes there are people who know these people, who communicate with them, people who these people respect, and when they talk to them, they let go of their victims. Make it make sense. Terrorists are supposed to be treated as enemies. Of course, they are enemies of a nation. They are enemies to the peace and security of a nation, and they should be treated as such. Why are you petting them? Why are you taking things lightly with them? Why are you making it look like they are your business partners and you are so careful because you don't want to stop doing business with them? Why? You don't want to break the business ties. Which one is government does not negotiate all the time? That there are people whom these terrorists listen to, and when the people talk to them, they let go of their victims. Why can't these same people lead the government or security agencies to where these terrorists are so that they would be dealt with, so that they would be made to face the consequences of their actions? Why are you petting them, making them look like they are government workers who are aggrieved? Why? It is insane. These people are enemies of the nation. They are enemies of Nigerians. They are enemies of the government. They are supposed to be enemies of the government. But the way some politicians are talking about this issue, they are too light about it. It is not carrying so much weight. They are undermining it because they are not involved, because their families are not victims. Their children, of course, are not in the country. So they make it look like it is a light issue. If you know that there's someone through whom you can get to these people, why not do that and make these people face the consequences of their actions? Execute them, because they would not stop. The abducted children from St. Mary's School are still in the den of these dangerous people. So what if this person whom they respect does not call them? Those children would remain in their custody, right? So what if the government refuses to pay? What happens to those children? What would happen to them? Their lives are at stake, and you sit there talking about someone calling them to let go of their victim, someone they respect, someone they listen to. For how long? For how long would the government continue to do this? If they don't negotiate, then somebody has to beg them to let go of their victims. For how long? So that same person cannot link the security agencies with these terrorists so that they would be brought to book. Those people are heartless. They don't show mercy. When they catch their victims, they either kill them or collect huge sums of money from their families. And what if their families do not have the money to pay? What happens to them? What would happen to them at the end? So when you catch these people, when you are able to get hold of them, why not do the needful? Why show them mercy and give them a second chance? And you call them repentant, whereas they don't repent. You call them repentant, you fix them into positions. Do the needful to them. Stop petting them, because it would not stop. You are petting them, negotiating with them, thereby encouraging other people to go into the act of terrorism because they see it as a booming business. But if you execute them whenever they are caught, it would serve as a deterrent to others who have the mind of going into terrorism. It would discourage them because they know that their end is not going to be good. So the Nigerian government, do the needful. When these people are caught, let them be executed. Don't call them repentant and then you recruit them into the Nigerian army or the Nigerian police or wherever. Don't do that. You are not helping the situation. You are making things worse because these people do not truly repent.